Right, there we go. We are on. A little bit. Oh no, that's okay. So I'll wait for some people to pop in. We've not got anyone in at the moment. I would have thought there would be a couple of people in because I scheduled it a few minutes ago, but we'll wait till a few people are in. I've already drank almost all my tea today because I was a little bit early with lunch. But yeah, so not got a topic today, as per usual. Oh, someone's at the door. Is that postman or something? I don't know. Anyway, they'll have to wait. They'll have to just come back in a bit or something. I want the nightcap on. I can grab it in a second. Wow, we've got 7 people in here now. My God, that's gone up quick. Now 9. Bloody hell, that's quick. We've got, right, okay, one sec, because I wasn't ready for about 9 people coming in. Right, okay, so we've got Andrew in there. We've got Mark in there. I don't know whether Mark's been on one of my streams before, but I've seen him on other people's live chats. Antiques, Tat Doctor, George Ross, Yasmin, and Richard Hale. So most of the regulars in there. I will get the nightcap in a sec. Don't forget, if you like it, then put a like on it, you know, because I tend to get about bloody 15 dislikes or whatever. So try and get the likes more than the dislikes if we can, because that's at least something. Right, so someone just put a question in, did he? Oh, literally just got the notification through. I bet Louise still thinks it starts as 1. I don't know. I think some people probably still do think it starts at 1, but no, I've done it for so long. I just don't like. I don't like being late. You know, I like coming on, getting ready, getting prepared, knowing that I'm on at 12:50 or something. And I do always say Thursday talks at 1, but it's always Thursday talks at sort of 12:50, something like that. Sometimes even a little bit less. But anyway, I'll get me like night. I won't have it on forever, but I'll put it on for a minute, I've got this one on my bed today on the pillow. I've got about 6 of different ones, but yeah, there's my little nightcap. I wear it for cellar lads, of course. But yeah, so right, lots to discuss this week anyway, so I'll get on and discuss a bit of that if we've not got any questions. I've not really got a topic, but I have got plenty of things that are going on, reselling related. So, yeah, so I'll discuss that. If you've got any questions, then please do whack them in the chat. And yeah, with that being said, we'll get on with this. So, hi, Jay Burke says hi everyone, Hoads. Hoads? What does that mean? I don't know. Good God, Louise got the time right. Oh, hi, Louise. Yeah. Hey, George. Lads. Oh, my God. Anyway, so, a few things to mention. First, I'll do a little bit of a plug, a little self-promotion. So, yeah, it's Christmas Carol. Yeah, I suppose it does look... It does. Whenever I've had it on and looked in the mirror, I thought, oh, yeah, I do look a bit like that. But no, so, shameless plug first off. Reselling Rebels, the new hit podcast, Reselling Hit podcast, on Monday at 9 AM, I think I've got it scheduled for. So I thought I'd schedule it for the morning because I guess that people will be listening throughout the day. And if I schedule it for a Monday morning, 9 o'clock, people every week can hopefully get a bit of listing done Monday afternoon after they've sent the parcels out, whatever it may be. And listen to the podcast because it's going to be a listen while you list one. So, yeah, thought I'd do that. So I've recorded that, got the graphics and all the rest of it done for it. I might do some merch for it at some point, but I'll see how it goes. I want to do like 3 or 4 episodes first, see if people enjoy it, all the rest of it. And if people enjoy it, then it can be a more long-term thing, and I'll do some merch for it and all the rest of it, because it really does lend itself to being on a t-shirt, the Reselling Rebels. It really does lend itself. And what I might do is put Reselling Rebel instead of the S, so then it's specific to the person who's wearing it. But it just lends itself to merch. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to buy it, but I just really want to produce it because it lends itself so perfectly to the merch. So yeah, if people enjoy the podcast and if it gets half decent views at least, it's not just stagnant on the channel or anything, then I'll keep it up. And yeah, it can be a nice little long-term thing, and we'll have a different topic each week. It's not going to be like Thursday Talks because if it's for, if it, you know, I don't want it being like too informal. You know what I mean? This is very, very informal, and I love that. Don't get me wrong. I like the informality of it. I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, I like it being informal. I was trying to think of an ality word for that, but I don't think there is one. But I like it being informal. But I just don't want another video that's basically a copy of Thursday Talks in audio version. So it's going to be a little bit more professional, a little bit more directed. So don't worry if you're tuning into the podcast or you're thinking of tuning in and you're thinking, oh, well, it's just going to be Adam like just totally going off topic. It's not that. It is actually a bit more structured, and it is centered around reselling. And also not only reselling, but the actual entrepreneurship and a little bit of an extension on just reselling, but it is all in that business realm. So yeah. We've got Steve Green in there. Hi there. We've got Richard Payne in there. George has got a question. I'll answer that in a sec. Yeah. Oh wait, no, still got a bit more to go up. I really need to learn what a podcast is. Well, I don't know what a podcast is. You know why? Because I'll answer that one from George actually in a sec. I don't know what a podcast is because some people, like Joe Rogan, he does it with a video feed, and then there's other people who don't do it with a video feed. Now, I think traditionally, someone can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think traditionally a podcast is meant to be audio only. So, but people now call podcasts, and we have a video feed, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Anyway, I'll answer that question from George now before it's already going down the chat. My God, there's so much chat today. What's going on? Right, question. What would you prefer, 100k active YouTube subscribers or 100k profit from your business/businesses? I don't know. Active subscribers. Yeah, but what does 100k active subscribers mean? Does that mean I'm getting 50, 60k views on each video? Because you see a lot of people with 100k active subscribers, and yeah, okay, a lot of them are active, but they might only get 20 or 30 or 40k views, with the odd video getting more than that. But I would say, just for the nature of scalability, I'd say 100k YouTube subs, because I don't need to sell a product. I don't need to package a product up to do. I mean, you do actually have to package a product up in the form of a video, but I mean, you don't have all that stock. Like, to do 100k in your business, we're talking profit, that's a huge scale. Like, that is huge scale. That's a lot of work. It might not necessarily be huge scale in a physical sense. You know, you might be selling smaller products or something, but even so, it's a huge task to do that with a business orientated with stock. With the YouTube, if you'd had that, I could literally just come on live, right? You see these channels with 100k subs, they go live and they just spout. They might even just go live on a phone, right? I've seen this before, and we get about 400 quid in super chat. It's ridiculous. And they're like, well, right, great, you know, we give their information or whatever. Some of them even have the cheek, and I've said this before, some of them have the cheek to say, I'm not answering any questions, or if you want, no, they say it this way so it doesn't sound bad. They say, oh, if you want your questions answered, throw me a super chat. But really what they mean is, I'm above you, and I'm only going to answer your questions for a super chat, and if you don't give me a super chat, I'm going to ignore your questions. That's basically what they mean. But, you know, I'll take this off now for a sec. Yeah, but, so I don't know. I mean, I'd like 100k subs, active subs, but I mean, it's still a lot of work. By the time I get to 100k subs, I want my videos to be good, like as good quality as a 100k sub channel. Now, there are a lot of 100k sub channels in there. Please don't ignore it. Oh, thank you very much, George. I appreciate it. But yeah, so you see a lot of 100k subs channels, right? And there's one I follow, and I'm not getting at this guy in particular. I actually really like this guy's videos. I watched him for a while, but it's called Mike Jevons, and he does food challenges, and all the power to him because he does brilliant food challenges. But you know, the quality of his vlogs, he doesn't necessarily put crazy stuff in, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't put like on some of my vlogs, I put like little special effects in all the rest of it. It takes a little bit more time to do, and you know, I've had to learn that, and I've had to and I'm still honing my craft with it. There's one video I've just edited the other day where I've done basically I've masked my face in colour, and I've put little colours in my eyes to make it look like I'm you know, crazy superhero guy type thing, or whatever, you know, just like crazy monster. But it didn't work very well, and I couldn't do the masking very well because I'm still honing my craft in it. I'm still learning, I'm still pushing on, I'm still thinking, oh well, how do I do this properly? You know, it takes quite a few times to get it right. But you see a lot of 100k subs channels, and they don't do any of that, yet they have, you know, thousands of views. And so I don't want to be like that. When I get to 100k, or if I get to 100, I'm just so confident I say when, so we'll just keep it with when. When I get to 100k, even if it takes 50 years, I will want to do videos in line with deserving that 100k, you know, because 100k subs, you might not think that's a lot of income, but 100k subs is quite comfortably a full-time income. About 70 to 100k subs is full-time. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a basic full-time income. Like Craigslist Hunter, I worked it out, he must be on around 20k a year with his channel. Basically, you just take the views figure, he gets like 300 odd thousand views a month, or 400,000 views a month. I make about $4 or $5 per thousand views, so you just times that figure by that. So I think that's around 18 to 20k, something like that. So that's a very basic, it is very basic, but it is a full-time income, just about. You know, if you're doing a few sponsorships or whatever on the side, then it's definitely a full-time income. So don't think that you need 500 or a million subs to be full-time at YouTube, because it's simply not the case. But anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. What was that leading on to? I don't even know. But anyway, so I would want, yeah, so that's what I was saying. So if I've got 100k subs and I'm earning X amount of money, let's say I do some merch on the side and I do some other things, and I can get my income up to 30k, I want to be deserving of that 30k, and I want to put good editing in, and I want to serve my audience in the best way I can, in the forms of the editing, etc. And doing the videos you want and all the rest of it, which I haven't always done. I have sometimes been quite selfish and done videos I want over what my audience wants. But you know, I would do want, when I get to 100k, or this progression, I should say, to 100k, then, you know, I want to, when I do finally get there, have worked up to it nicely and have got a, you know, being deserving of it, you know, being deserving of that level, because, you know, YouTube at that point gives you a little silver plaque or something, don't they, for 100,000, and I want to be deserving of that silver plaque. Now, that might just be because I have this infatuation with YouTube, and I love it, you know, I absolutely love it. So, you know, therefore I hold it in higher regard. I hold the editing in higher regard. I hold everything with YouTube in higher regard. So that might be why I have that stance on it. Someone else who doesn't hold it in as high regard might think, well, I just want to get to 100k and I don't care about the editing, or I don't care about this, or I don't care about that. I just want to get to 100k, you know? But for me now, it's not quite like that. It's more of a love, a passion. It's more of marrying someone opposed to having a one-night stand, or having doing friends with benefits or something like that, if you want to draw that comparison, you know. So it's kind of just like that. It's like it's the same with my reselling. I'm kind of married to it now, opposed to it just being kind of like a little flittery thing that doesn't go anywhere kind of thing. So anyway, I look up the chat. Southwest Stars is in there. Hi there. I'm currently 100. Wow, that's incredible, George. That'll cover the new webcam at least. Yeah, I was up to the highest I've ever been on YouTube is $100. I think I just touched it, and that was in December of last year, or November of last year, something like that. But now I'm back down to about, well, this month I think I'm on about well, yeah, maybe with super chats I'll probably be on about $70, which isn't brilliant. I mean, you guys know the work I put in. It's not enough, but I don't care. I don't bloody care. I just loved it. Honestly, at this point, I don't care. Even if I was getting no money, I'd still do YouTube. I've always said I'll do it less, but I'll still do it. I probably still end up doing a lot of the editing, to be honest, because I just bloody love it, you know. It doesn't matter about that kind of side to it. I love doing the lives, I love doing the vlogs. I mean, at the moment, my God, you know, I've had times in the past where I've not loved doing certain videos, but at the moment, I'm just loving doing everything. I'm loving doing the vlogs. I've just been editing. I've been editing a lot this week, and I've been doing the vlogs. I've been doing the haul videos. I've been doing sales updates. I've been doing the Reselling Rebels podcast. I'm just genuinely enjoying doing it so much. Anyway, so you've got to redeem yourself from last time, Andrew. Let's see what magic you can pull tonight. Oh, is it the chat tonight? Ads, only watch your live streams, not enough time in the day to watch YouTube videos. Yeah, exactly. You know, no, I'm not pressuring anyone to watch my videos, by the way. But yeah, you know, if you don't have time to watch them, I know there's so many out there as well these days as well. That's the other thing. Hey, Andrew's doing well for subs, and he's gone up by about what is it, 100? I mean, I keep right, this is funny, because I'm doing a Reselling Rebels podcast next week, the following one from this one. I'm recording it next week, it'll go out the week after. On comparing yourself to others, because George and Nick brought it up on the Seller Lads, and I thought, you know what, I really do want to do an episode of it. If you know, doing this podcast, I want to do an episode of that. So yeah, that's gonna be. But I dare say, oh well, I keep tabs on everyone because I have that what do you call it? Videoletics by TubeBuddy, and you go into each channel and you can see it automatically pops up what their subs are doing and everything. So I always you know, keep tabs. I'm like, oh, go around, and it sounds like I'm comparing myself to others. And sometimes, if I'm being genuinely honest, sometimes I do. And I think, oh, well, they're going up X amount and they're going up that amount. But most of it, I would say most of it, about 80-90% of the energy is just genuine interest to see how others are performing, etc. Not to compare to me, but to just enjoy the fact that other people are growing, mainly. I mean, that's a lot of what it is these days. Months ago, I mean, it would have been comparison nightmare for me, but these days it's I suppose I've just been able to relax around it a bit more, this comparison thing, and these days it's just this it's weird, it's this selfless, I don't want to appear too holy or godly or anything when I say this, I don't mean to, but it's just this kind of selfless enjoyment of seeing other people grow, you know, kind of thing. You know, I just very much enjoy these days just looking at channels and seeing them grow and knowing that, you know, Andrew's going to be at 1,000 subs in a few months, and that's going to mean that he can monetize his channel, and Louise will probably be there, and, you know, other people will be, you know, Georgie's getting to his milestone 2,500, Nick and Andrew are off in the sky at blooming 35,000. It's crazy, you know, all these people doing all these wonderful things and people creating these brilliant videos, and, you know, I've enjoyed seeing Louise, obviously she's been getting involved with a bit more editing and stuff on her videos, and that's, you know, that gives me a lot of joy to see people doing that. And George, of course, is phenomenal at editing his videos, really good. Some of the things on his videos I still look at and I'm like, how did he do that? Because some things I don't know how he did, and it always gets me because I'm thinking, wow, I really appreciate it when I look at a video and I think to myself, how did he do that? That's what I really appreciate, and I've said that before, but that's what I appreciate. If I look at someone's videos, look at someone's content, I mean, how did they do that? I really appreciate it because I know there's a bit of work gone into it, you know. Because if I can't do it, then it means that they've obviously learned something that I've not been able to learn. So that means that I get more appreciation from it because I know that they've advanced themselves in a different way, and I know that it's taken that work, as I say. So, yeah, so I've got 25 watching now, that's cool. Looked up a couple of companies near me and watched their videos. What's that for? What couple of companies? I don't know, I'm looking up the chat now, maybe you've said what companies. Only 257 to go to the chat. Oh, yeah, that 2,500, yeah. I'm just thinking, I am sub to George, right? And I was like, yeah, of course I am. I don't know why that even came through my mind, but I was thinking for your listings live, Steve, maybe you could... No, I don't think Steve's doing listing lives anymore. He said on one of his vlogs, didn't he? Chat face. Oh, right. Can I have my say on this drama Facebook thing? Right, okay. So I'm not going to come at there's no bias with me on this. Because I wasn't a part of the, well, I was in the group, but I don't go on Facebook anymore. You guys know I've not been on Facebook in ages. The only thing I go on Facebook for is to check the Seller Lads live chat to get the link for when I'm on the Seller Lads live. So I'm going to do my very, very little piece on the chat group. And here it is. It is a bloody Facebook group, right? It's a Facebook group. What is the matter with people? And I don't know what's gone on in the group. I don't know the extent of the damage of how people have been to each other. I just know from what other people have said that it's been quite bad. But it is a Facebook group. What the hell is wrong with people if they're, I don't even know what they're saying, but they're having terribly bad arguments or whatever about it, or slandering people. What's the problem? What the hell is the problem? Seriously. What, can someone tell me the problem with shutting down a Facebook group? I see no issue or problem with that. It's Nick and Andrea's group. They want to close it, they want to close it, or whatever's happened. I think that's what's happened. They've closed the group, haven't they? And people are getting messed up about it or whatever. But if they want to close it and close it, go to another group. It's not hard. I mean, God, apparently there's about 7 of them popped up now, or 10 of them or whatever. So just go to another bloody group, you know? Or, better still, do what I do and come into the lovely, positive, almost sensual community over on Instagram. The reselling community over on Instagram is bloody marvellous. I tell you, go on Instagram, get friendly with people, go in the messages, you know, get chatting to people. You'll bloody love it. There's so many people over there. I love going on Insta. I love chatting to people on Insta. This week I haven't chatted to as many people because, to be honest, I've just been getting on with reselling work, and I've met a couple of people socially as well, which is good because I need to get more social. But, you know, I've been doing other things. I've been doing mainly my work, which is good. But, you know, so basically I haven't chatted to too many people on Insta, but it's an absolutely brilliant community. And yeah, it's just so positive compared to Facebook. I think I've seen one little drama or one little dilemma on Insta. I can't remember what it was, but it was something ages ago. Everyone is so bloody nice on there. And for the most part, as far as I'm aware, it's the same bloody people as who are on Facebook. But for whatever reason, Instagram breeds more positivity than Facebook. I do not know why. Maybe it's the structure of it. Maybe it's the more streamlined and focused setup that Instagram has, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a Facebook group, just get over it. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I think who just said that? RJ. Time to let's just forget the Facebook thing and dust down and move on. Exactly. I don't feel the Instagram thing, to be honest. Well, I mean, to be honest, it's one of those things, personal preference, isn't it? For me, I like it because, I mean, I never, actually, it's funny you should say that, because I was in the same position as you. I never liked it. Never liked Instagram. I wasn't fussed about the reselling community on it. Anything like that, I just wasn't fussed. But then I kind of just stepped into it slowly. I think I put a couple of posts on there over a few, 1 or 2 weeks. And then I slowly stepped into it, and then I got chatting to people using the messaging system on there. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm getting to like this. It's really nice. And then I realised that what I was doing is I was messaging loads of people on Instagram. I was messaging loads of people on Facebook, you know, different people. Mainly all resellers, like 80-90% of them were resellers. And I felt myself becoming quite down and depressed. And I realised, and I said this in a video actually, I said it in a vlog ages ago. But I realised that it was not necessarily Facebook in particular, but just too much social media. So then I cut Facebook out and I felt a whole lot more positive. Now, what I have gone through is periods with Instagram where I have felt, and this is probably to do with my mental disorder and stuff, so it might not affect other people in the same way as me or as much as me, or maybe it will, maybe it'll affect you more, I don't know. But it seemed like, you know, certain times with Instagram, I do get this, not comparison, but this fear that I'm losing people. Now, I don't know what this is. I don't understand. It might come somewhat into my attachment issues or superiority issues or whatever it may be. It might be something to do with that. But I feel sometimes, if I'm not chatting to people on Instagram, I feel as if I'm losing them as friends, and I feel like, you know, oh my God, they're moving away from me, or something's happening, or I'm not good enough for them. Again, it could come up into my feeling unworthy or whatever, I don't know. But I feel like that, and it does get to me. But I think the thing I've kind of recognised is that actually taking a break, it sounds paradoxical, it sounds weird, because actually the thing that helps me in the long term, not in the short term, but in the long term, is taking breaks from Instagram. So although I feel in my head that I'm losing people at certain times, actually taking a break, removing myself from that, and then sort of just focusing on my work or focusing on real life friends or whatever, actually doing that lets me sink back down and relax a bit more. And it sounds paradoxical, because what I'm doing to cure my feeling that people are running away from me or going away from me, even though that's just all a thought in my mind, I'm actually removing myself further. It sounds really odd, it sounds like it wouldn't work, but it does for me in some regard. Now, it doesn't take it away completely, I'm always going to have a little bit of that, and therefore that's always going to manifest itself in a small way. I think a combat to that would be just having more real life friends, but it's always going to be there to some degree, and social media, as we all know, likes to amplify these feelings of unworthiness, or people like on Instagram, these people with all the filters and stuff makes you feel less worthy because you think that they're amazing. I mean, this doesn't really happen to me. I've never really been, I don't care about my appearance. I've never been someone like that, but I know that this affects other people in this way, where they're looking at people with filters and they think that they're looking gorgeous and they're unworthy, whereas if you actually take the filter off that person, they would look just the same as you, just a normal human being, essentially. But yeah, so I think I'll leave that there, but that was something interesting to cover as well, because I know and I think I might touch a little bit on the social media side of reselling in the comparison, the Reselling Rebels comparison episode. Shrek doesn't do Facebook, so have no idea what went on there. Shrek is a troll, I don't know, who's that? I don't think I've seen them in there. George, if you weren't a moderator, you'd be in timeout right now. Can moderators put other moderators in timeout? I love Facebook, but there are a lot of haters on there. A lot of haters on YouTube as well. Every time I do a sales update on YouTube, I get hate. Oh my god, you know probably as well as me, Andrew, about my bloody story with you. I mean, bloody, it's every video. Every video, it's like 10 thumbs. I said this last week, so I won't rant about it too much, but it's like, thumbs that, I'm like, well, I don't care. Just put your thumbs down, it's like, as long as there's a few people there to put the thumbs up, then it doesn't matter, and there always will be a few people there to put thumbs up, so you see. What would Doctor Who make the most of Tatchat closing? Would it affect his... Oh my god, I don't even know how to answer that, George. That's like a really weird question. I don't think he'd think much of it. He'd just say it's a bloody Facebook group or something. I don't know. I'm not read into it, have I? But yeah, I don't think he'd bloody care that much. But he's not got any crypto either. I don't even know how to answer that. That's really weird. George says, right, I've got to dash now. Thank you very much for joining, George, and thank you very much for the super chat as well. It's appreciated. Thanks for the funny lunch break, guys. No worries. You'll never defeat me. What's that all about? You'll never defeat me. I don't know. Wow, 36 people watching. What's going on? 37. Not been this high in a long time. We normally flat out about 30 people watching, so it's interesting. Don't think there's any questions. If you've got a question, throw it in the chat. I'm just going up the chat just in case. Just in case. Are you going to do more crypto vids ads? I'm thinking about investing in Steam. I am not. Oh, Harry Wood. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so either I'm not, because I mean, I could do, but it's just, I'm running my philosophy channel at the moment. I'm only doing one video a week on that, which I'm just about okay with. I'm putting a lot of time into my reselling channel at the moment. I'm doing vids left, right, and centre. I'm really enjoying the editing side of it. I'm trying to get the editing side of it up, so that all takes time. I've just done this morning getting a load of new effects off YouTube, green screen effects and all the rest of it, and new music and stuff, copyright free music. So I'm putting a lot of time into the editing of that. So then doing the crypto channel on top of that, and to be honest, I'm being very passive with the crypto investing at the moment. So I'm literally just I've got my Steam. I've got most of my money in Steam. I think I've got one other side investment that's quite small, but most of my money's in Steam, and I'm just letting that create my passive income and then taking it out every month. So it's not like there's a lot for me to talk about on it. I can talk about how to invest in Steam, how to put your money in and all the rest of it, how to power up and the process of Steam and all the rest of it, but there's not a lot that I'm actually doing with crypto. I'm just kind of letting it sit there for a while until we properly come out of this bear market, which hopefully will be by the end of this year. That's kind of my estimation, because we've got the Bitcoin halving in May. So I think we've probably hit the lows now. I feel quite comfortable to say we've hit the lows. We might take one more little bit dip back down, but I don't think we'll get back down to those real lows of, what was it, like 3,000 or something. So we might dip down a little bit more and then start shooting up again towards the halving, but I feel pretty comfortable that we've hit the rock bottom lows. So it's now just a waiting game, so that's why I'm being quite passive with it. And then as we get towards the halving, Bitcoin goes up and then the altcoins should follow. And then, after that, I'll be earning a good amount of money with my passive income on Steam. Because if Steam gets to $2, I'll be earning $10 a day, which would be $300 a month. That's just $2, Steam at $2, which should be next year at some point. And then, obviously, its high was at $10, so it can get back to $10. I'll be earning a full-time income with crypto without the need of reselling, even though I will still do. I always... You know what I do in my mind? I think to myself, like, when I'm earning a full-time income with crypto, I'll scale my reselling back a little bit. But then I always think to myself, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it's kind of this... I think I give myself that thing to look forward to of scaling back my reselling a little bit because I'll be earning more with crypto. But that's just kind of me, I suppose, just giving myself a little bit of a security or feeling as if I can tone it down a bit. But I never will actually tone down my work. I just love work, so I just love doing stuff, like whatever it may be that interests me. I just love doing it. So, I probably won't scale back my reselling or anything, but yeah, so by next year, if Steam can go up to $2, I'm earning 5 Steam a day passively at the moment, so that'll be $10 a day, $300 a month. That's probably roughly like 230, something like that anyway. So £230 a month extra for what was I saying? For on top of my reselling income as well, which is brilliant. And if it goes $10, then yeah, I'm earning tons. So. Right, we'll go up very quickly. Is it because you lost 10k on Steam? Isn't it time to sell them before you lose a lot? No, it's... Right, people say you've lost 10k. Right, I have lost 10k. I'll admit that in the form of fiat value. But everyone has. There's people I know in crypto who've had $1 million in crypto. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, some people. And they're right back down to like 20k or 50k. They have only lost that money if they sell the crypto assets. If they wait for the bear market to go through, which it will do, because it always does, that's how market cycles work. That's why in every recession we've ever had, we come out of it, because it always comes back. People have this fear that it's done. Oh my God, it's never going to come back round again once we enter a really bad recession. But what happens after a few years? It comes back round again. So it'll just come back round again. So I've only lost, actually properly lost that 10k if I puss it out basically now. Sorry to be crude, but I thought it needed it. If I just basically sell my Steam now, if I did that, I would be kicking myself next year, because my God, and all you guys, I'll be saying to you guys next year, the year after, look what I've been saying all along, and then look what happened, and I'm doing well with the income. So that's how much, it's not even a belief, it's a faith in it. Belief is a tricky word, because belief actually means to wish. It doesn't mean to... So when someone says, I believe in a God, what they're saying is, I wish to believe in a God. So belief is always a tricky word. So I always try and use the word faith these days, because to have faith is more than it means more than to believe in something. To believe in something is like the half-assed version of faith. So if anyone's religious, instead of stop saying maybe I believe in a God, say I have faith in God, because that's a more powerful way to say it. So if, let's say, I was religious, then I would say I have faith in God, you know, because it's a more powerful way of saying it instead of just believe. Because when you say believe, you're affirming your desire to want to believe, but you're not actually affirming your own faith. So, you know, I have faith in crypto to come back round again, just like I have faith in the economy to go round in these cycles and come back again, etc. So it's, you know, so long as I just keep my steam, and so long as nothing drastic, I mean, there is one option that could happen that would be bad, is that Steam, literally the community just dissolves and then, or something comes out that basically ruins Steam or whatever. That's the one thing that could happen, and then I would have definitely lost the money. But for this moment, in my eyes, I've not lost the money. I'm just essentially waiting on the market to come back around, and I was kind of foolish when I didn't sell last year properly and I bought back in too soon, etc. That's what really did me. I should have waited to buy back in and bought back in around November last year, because that was when Steam was the cheapest. So yeah, you know, like I'm just literally waiting at the moment, and then come next year, the money that I earn from Steam will I can actually I suppose I could flood that money into my reselling business and then expand on that with that money, because if I'm earning 2, 3, 4, 500 quid a month extra, I can use that money to invest in Lego, and you see what I mean. Now it just all explodes. Like, you're using passive income from one investment to form another investment, then you're selling that investment on after a year or so, then you use that money to put into another investment, and then that gives you passive income, and etc, etc. And I've talked about this so many times, and then it explodes out, and by the time you're 50, you've accumulated by basically just compound interest, well, not compound interest, but basically like compounding your money over several different investments. You've got 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever, you know. So that's kind of how it works, and people are very speculative on it. People are it's not speculative, skeptic, is that right? People are very skeptic on this, and they're very quick to say, oh, we're all investing's a scam, or this is a scam, or that's a scam. They're the people who don't earn money, and the people who who actually are open to all these types of investments, maybe they do make some mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Maybe they do invest in things that are mistakes. I've done that, and many of them. If you go to any millionaire, I'm sure they'll say, "Oh, I've lost a bit of money here and there," because you can't make a million pound without first losing a few pound in the process. It just doesn't happen. You speak to any millionaire, any billionaire, they'll say, "Oh, I've had a few bad investments. I've had a few bad deals." It does not work. You cannot get to 1 million. You cannot get to 1 billion, anything like that, without making a few bad investments, bad judgment calls, or whatever. It just does not happen. It's unheard of. So, but the person who gets to 1 million is one who keeps trying. And there's a great saying, and I've mentioned this before. What's the saying? Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So if you can just keep going on, keep plodding on for all the crap, for all the good stuff, for all everything, and keep working and keep going on, then you will get to whatever place you want to be at. But also it's important to note that from a natural point of view, from a very human, central, the core of who you are, that sort of point of view, you already have enough inside yourself. You know, you don't necessarily need, you know, from a mental standpoint, emotional standpoint, physical standpoint, you don't actually need to get anywhere. You're already quite content with where you are. You're already quite marvelous where you are right now. You don't know, but there is this kind of idea or ideology that people need to get 1 million, need to get 5 million, need to get 10 million. But I mean, the work that it takes to get there as well, that's another thing as well, because it's not just about investing your money and, you know, getting 1 million or whatever. You have to do other things alongside. I mean, you have to learn a load about that investment to be able to actually make the more correct investments, and then you need to do other things, you know, like maybe you set up a business and all the rest of it, and you're doing all these things. Basically, a millionaire is just someone who is working like crazy in all different areas, and they've essentially turned themselves into someone who is quite incredible in the process, because they've had to work so much to get to that million, that 5 million, whatever, you know. So anyway, I'll quickly go up the chat a bit. The Doctor, sorry, I don't know. Oh, Tat Doctor, even. I read that as The Doctor. I don't know. I'm watching too much Doctor Who. She does make a good breakfast. The rest of her cooking is not quite as exciting. I don't know what that's in reference to, but okay. Someone makes a good breakfast. Money Mental says 99% of success is based on failure. Well, there you go, exactly. Hi, Kirsten. Can I come to your mum's for breakfast? Sounds nice. What? I don't even know what that's in reference to, but the pin box says bye everyone. Oh, I didn't even know you were in, so bye anyway. Right, ads. I will have to message you about side income as it's all over my head. I would say just concentrate on your reselling, Adrian, for the moment, and then, because I don't know what you're doing with your reselling, I don't know how much you've built it up or whatever, but last time I checked, you know, you were just sort of building your store and stuff. So if you're still at that point where you're just building your store, just build your store, you know, don't, oh, Chris, is it Chris from Cookie and Vet? I think it's Chris, isn't it? Yeah, so, just, if you're still in that process of building your store, just keep building your store. Don't think about side income or passive income or whatever. I mean, I only looked into investing, was it 2 years? Yeah, it was about 2 years into my reselling. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but, yeah, I looked into investing like 2 years in, and even that, I'd say that's pretty early, but I mean, I suppose a lot of people you just do it when you want, really, I suppose, but the main thing is that you have a good, sustainable, or a fairly decent income from whatever you're doing, you know, you're reselling or whatever your business is, before you start thinking about investing, because what you can do is then you maybe not earning, and as I say, maybe I did it a little bit early, actually, on hindsight, but it's kind of just about worked out, luckily, and well, I say luckily, it's with a lot of hard work and stuff, but, no, but, you know, if you've not got that income there, then you've not got the income to invest anyway, have you? So you're just going to tie up cash that you can't afford to tie up. So it's best to try and focus on one thing, like your eBay or your Amazon or whatever it may be. Or if you feel as if you can juggle two at the same time, then do that if you can. And then basically, once you've got to a decent income, you then start to invest a little bit more and look into other things. But this isn't financial advice. I'm just saying what I feel would be a good route to go down, or kind of somewhat what I've done in my experience and the fails I made and things like that to lead me to the conclusions that I've drawn. But I'm not really anyone in investing. I you know, I've never really, I went down the route of crypto because it was easier to get into, it was easier to get involved with, and then my experience in crypto has led me to understanding a little bit more like stocks and things, and I still need to actually invest in stocks in a big way, because I did stocks first and I didn't like them, and then I went to crypto because I didn't understand the charts or anything like that. Then I went to crypto and I enjoyed crypto so much, and I still do, but I just don't look at it as frequently or invest myself time-wise into it as much. But then I got into the world of crypto, and I enjoyed it so much that I actually made myself learn the charts a little bit and learn the flow of the market. And then that made me, has now given me more of an appreciation for the stock market, because I understand the way in which it flows a little bit more. Because when you learn one market like crypto, I wouldn't say you're directly learning the stock market, but it's an easier transition because they're both markets, they both have volatility, you can both read charts and graphs in a similar way, so, you know, it gives you a better appreciation for one or the other, whichever one you decide to do. So, anyway, I'll quickly look up the chat. Hi Chris, you did an epic live last night. What was it? A few hour stream or something? At last, an offer for eBay business users, max £3 selling fees. Need to get all my unlisted electronics on. Max £3 selling fees for what? Like a weekend or a week or something? I don't know. Hasn't Epic Store Steam's new competition though for... No, it's not Steam, the digital gaming company thing. It's Steam as in STEE. It's a blockchain-based decentralized social media platform. The only problem for Steam, and it has loomed over me for quite a while, is this new Facebook coin that's coming out. I'm like, oh god, I'm like, yeah, if Facebook takes off with a cryptocurrency, I don't know how decentralized it is. I'm sure I've heard I'm not read into it too much, but I'm sure someone said it's not like incredibly decentralized or anything. With it being associated to the Facebook company, can't be incredibly decentralized, so Steam might have the upper hand there. So and also Steam is probably still going to have the upper hand on terms of rewards, because Steam is one of I say one of because there are high risk speculative investments in cryptocurrency that are get you a better return, but Steam is one of the more safe options in crypto, if you could even call any crypto safe, but one of the more safe options in crypto that has the best return, or one of the best returns, on your investment in terms of passive income. So yeah, that has it going for it. So I think I'm still fairly safe. The other thing that did strike me, did pull me back a little bit from it, was the fact that DTube or DLive? No, DLive went over from Steam to another blockchain. I forgot the name of the blockchain. I think it begins with an N or something, I'm not sure. But that went over to another blockchain. So that was one of Steam's kind of attributes to its blockchain, kind of just whipped out of it. So that's somewhat frustrating. But Steam has always had, over the last 3 years, because it's been around 3 years now, well, it's been around 3 years in a month's time, actually. But it's always had a solid community, and that's the one thing that's always stayed with Steam, and that's what always attracts me to it, or makes me come back, because I think, well, over the last 18 months I've been involved with it, or 16 months, or whatever it's been, I think it's been 18 months, something like that, 17 months maybe, between 16 and 18 months I've been involved with it, but it's always brought me back because I can see the community, and I know that even through the times of the depths of the bear market, they've still been they've still been solid, even though the prices have been low. Yeah, I know, that gets me, because if DLive remained on Steam, and then PewDiePie started promoting DLive on Steam, like in association with Steam, my god, oh my god, that would have made the price of Steam go up through the roof, like insanity. And yeah, my investment would have been like, yeah, ka-ching, I would have been, no joke, with the amount of Steam I would have if PewDiePie was solidly promoting it, and once the bear market goes out, Steam would be $50 a coin, and I would be very, very close to a millionaire. I would literally have about $960,000, so I'd be close to a millionaire in terms of the dollar value, which would be insane. So it annoys me that DLive stripped away from Steam and then PewDiePie started promoting it. I don't know, it kind of seems to me as if PewDiePie didn't want to promote Steam, but I don't think that's the case. I think I'm just reading too much into it. But yeah, am I the only one who's confused here? We're just talking crypto stuff, Tat Doctor. All of this fancy talk is way over my head. It's just, I suppose you have to just immerse yourself in it, and it's hard to learn, it's hard to, blockchain stuff is hard to grasp. It took me ages, it took me like 4 or 5 months of just like researching every day and watching videos and actually being out on using blockchains and using crypto to actually even understand any part of what it was doing and what it was trying to achieve. But it seems these days, and I think that over the next few years it's only going to become more apparent that governments are going to get involved with it loads, and we all knew that's going to happen anyway, but governments are getting involved with it, and then it's just going to become more and more centralized, and then it's just going to end up being it's not going to be as fun because it's not really truly decentralized. And what I mean by decentralized is it's not basically freedom for the people. It's not there's no central authority within that blockchain. It's going to be less than that. and there's not going to be as much freedom for our people. And of course, you could call me a liberal or whatever in that sense. I suppose in a lot of ways I am kind of a liberal. You know, it's I think hippie or maybe mystic or hippie would be going a little bit too far, I suppose. But I'm certainly liberal. And I like freedom for people and all that sort of stuff, and I've never enjoyed government, and I guess it just goes hand in hand with me being eccentric and me being unconventional, all the rest of it. Of course I'm going to oppose things or not particularly like things that end up putting people into boxes or creating a society in which we are kind of regimented off, you know what I mean? So of course I'm going to be a little bit opposed to that. It's just in the nature of my personality, I suppose. But I suppose it's not that I can't see other views as well. I can definitely see other political, not to get too political here, because I don't know what I'm talking about with politics really, but it's not that I can not see other people's views of being conservative or maybe Labour or anything like that. I can definitely see them, and I have had flirtations with certainly looking into different political groups and thinking, oh yeah, I can relate to the Conservative side, and I can also relate to the Labour side in various different ways. So yeah, I mean, but I suppose that's kind of being just this freedom for the people kind of thing. Is that even a political party? Is there like a liberal? I know there's a Lib Dem. Is that liberal? Is that freedom for the people? Is that, because what I would want is my political views are a man. Just one guy dressed in like eccentric clothing who says, yeah, just do what you want. That's my political view. I kid you not. That is my political view. This is why I should not be a politician, because we'd have riots on the street and everything could be like, we'll be all right. Just let people do what we want, and it'd be terrible society that I created. So I'm not getting involved in politics in that way. You are safe. You are safe. And of course, I'm too much of a someone who doesn't necessarily like responsibility and stuff. I'm too much of a free, you could call it a free spirit. I don't like, it's a bit wishy-washy for me, but you could call it a bit of a free spirit. So, I'm too much of that to even get involved with the very boring, mundane, black and white politics, nitty-gritty, monkeys in suits kind of thing. I'm just not that type of person. I can be in certain situations, and I'm sure many people have seen me in certain situations where I have been quite reserved, or I've been respecting of people, and be very almost like a monkey in a suit kind of thing. And there are situations, as I say, I can apply myself to do that, but it's not my natural tendency. My natural tendency is to be all woo, you know what I mean, woo, and I can't help that. I honestly, I do wish, in some regard, maybe this is something to do with my want to control, I don't know, but I kind of sometimes wish that it would be good to control it, and just to control who I am a bit more in that sense. But there's always going to be times I'm going to be woo, a bit lack of responsibility, a bit of dancey, a bit of free spirity, a bit of mysticy or whatever, and I genuinely, after a lot of introspection of looking inside my own mind, I can't control that. There's no way I can control that. It's just a deep rooted part of this personality, I suppose, that I've got. So anyway. I took the wrong pills today. What does that say? Sheep in suits. Your message is cut off a little bit there. Oh, steam monkey in suits. No, I didn't say steam monkey in suits, but what did I say? Monkey in suits. Stew's in. Hi there, Stew. Yeah, they are called the Monster Waving Loony Party ads. I don't know. I've not looked at. I've heard of them, but I don't know whether they align with my political views or not. But so I'm not going to align myself with that party. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I feel freedom now in my own boss, but you're right. We are all slaves because we have to find money and pay the government. But being our own boss is still better. I would totally agree with that, Sean. I think I suppose it depends on the way you look at it. It kind of goes back to his saying, I don't know who said this, but is a slave if they don't know they're a slave and they're maybe willing to do the work, let's say? Because that's kind of what we're living in. We are, in one respect, slaves to a society. But we kind of don't know we're slaves, and a lot of us are quite willing to do the work in society, right? So does that mean we are slaves? I mean, it's quite paradoxical again, that, isn't it? Where, well, actually, are we or aren't we? And I think it just depends on your viewpoint, on the way you decide to look at it. If you think that we're slaves to society, then you're probably going to be quite negative, and you're probably going to be quite down a lot of the time, because that's your kind of viewpoint on the government, the world, the economy, the society, whatever. But you could also look at it from the flip side, the more optimistic viewpoint of, well, yeah, I understand that the government is controlling in some way. However, ultimately, I have the power to decide what goes on in my own life to a fairly great extent in the decisions I make, the things I do, etc. And, if you understand that and you get with the optimistic side of it, then, some way there might always be an idea of maybe this is a little bit slavery, but, you're not going to necessarily be negative about that. You're going to be more open to experience life in the way you can experience it. But the alternative to this kind of, I suppose it's almost on the mass psychology of a nation, repressed slavery or repressed thoughts around slavery, I suppose, in the societal view of kind of being slaves to society. I suppose, I don't know where my train of thought was going there. Oh, I forgot what. This is me trying to look into it too much. But anyway, someone will have to tell me what my train of thought is, because I've completely forgot. But I suppose it's kind of this. No, I don't know. No, I forgot. Oh well, someone will have to tell me in chat, because I forgot. I can't even eat toast. My triumphant return to Louise's live tonight will be interesting. I think what's happening is people are... No, this is a conspiracy theory, but I thought it'd be funny. This is a joke. This next part is a joke, by the way. I'm not being serious. I think what's happening is they're putting chips in our brains so that when we look into the psychology of repressed slavery around society and government, they automatically turn on and make you forget what you first thought, so then you can't actually get out of the trap. Now that's interesting. That's a funny one, isn't it? That's a bloody funny one. That'd make a good TV show, that would, wouldn't it? But yeah, no, that is just a joke, by the way. But there is things... Oh yeah, I've got it now. I've got my train of thought. So, this kind of repressed slavery, or this sort of society that we are living in that psychological terms, which you could look at it that way, in that depressive mindset, is probably the best society that we can live in. It's like democracy. What did Churchill say? It was like, democracy is the best form of government apart from all the other forms of government. Is that right? Or is democracy the worst form of government apart from all? I think it's the best, isn't it? But yeah, essentially, it's probably the best that we're going to get. If you want a liberal mindset like myself of, oh yeah, let everyone do what we're going to do, that would be way worse. And if you're going to do something like fascism or anything like that, like Hitler did, that would be way worse. So, it's kind of, democracy is, and the government and this society that we're creating is probably the best option that we've got. And the idea of going back and forth from left to right, in terms of, you get a new party in every 5 years, and maybe Conservatives last 10 years or whatever, but it always comes back to the other side, or, you know what I mean? So it flips between the two. That idea is quite good, because it means that you're always going to get a little bit more balance within that society over an extended period of time, of course. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably the best we're going to get, really. The only alternative that I see, and this comes back to my more liberal stance, I suppose, is and this is complete abandonment of technology, where we essentially just go back to how we lived as maybe 50,000 years ago, something like that, where we were all just in huts and all the rest of it. But no one would go for that idea, because they are so... We've built this intellectual society and this technological society so much up now that going back to that would be a no-go, and it would actually make people rather frustrated, rather depressed, rather angry, I suppose, a lot of people. But really, I feel that there is an argument that could be made for the fact that really we were better just staying in huts, really, and that is just an argument on my part, not really grounded in any validity or anything, but I really do think there is an argument that could be made for that, because what do we see? What do we see right now? Technology has come around, definitely hyped up in the last 30 years or so, from sort of 1989, mid-80s, that sort of time, to now. It's really, really hyped up. And what have we got? We've got an increase in depression and anxiety and all these mental health issues and all this sort of stuff, and self-worth and all the rest of it, things that I've struggled with, and no doubt a lot of you watching this will have struggled with. So, there's an argument, a very valid argument that could be made for that, and it's actually that as we progress further and further, these things just hype up and hype up and hype up until, as again I mentioned the other week, like Carl Jung discussed in the latter part of his life, as Alan Watts has discussed, and as many other people discussed, even 100 years ago, 50 years ago, maybe even longer than that, that we will get to a point where we cannot live with ourselves on the planet any longer, and someone pushes that button and we blow ourselves up, and that's that. Because we're always chasing this next thing that's meant to be brilliant, but when it comes along, it never really is. Prime example of this, everyone, for years and years, we're hyping about VR, virtual reality, right? And everyone's like, oh, it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be the best thing ever. And now, what is VR used for? The only thing really, apart from video games, that's a little bit of a use, but the only other thing it's used for is bloody porn, isn't it? And everyone's not really that fussed about it, are they? And everyone's like, on to the next thing. They're like, well, that wasn't as good as we thought, so we're going to get on to the next thing. And then they're convinced that next thing is going to be the most brilliant thing in the world, and then they get there and it isn't. So then they start doing that over and over and over, all the while getting more anxious, getting more depressed, because they're thinking, oh my god, we're going round in this circle, and I don't like this technology, and these things aren't as good as we thought, and all the rest of it. And then ultimately we get so depressed, we get so anxious, we get so erratic with ourselves that more wars happen and more things like that happen, and ultimately, as I said, lead to the ultimate destruction of the planet. A lot of people would say that's a tinfoil hat theory, or it is just something like that, but when you actually really get introspective into it and really look back across the last 100 years, and then think about how things could manifest in the future from that, you can start to see quite easily, quite comfortably, that something bad could happen. Now, the alternative to that is that we could start fighting wars with robots, and there's good and bad things to that, of course, but if we start fighting wars with robots, at least that might contain the damage a little bit, and not necessarily humans getting killed or whatever, but then people will get bored with the fact that no humans are dying, because I think actually a lot of people subconsciously, right at the back of their mind, they actually need war. No one will admit it. No one will admit that, except I just did. But a lot of humans, they have that desire at the back. Oh, well, we need a fight, we need a battle to win. Maybe it might not be a physical battle as in a war or something like that, but they need some sort of battle to fight, and they need to satisfy that need in some way. So they satisfy the need with robots, and then that doesn't satisfy the need enough, and they're getting anxious and depressed about it again. So then they start they come back bigger and bigger and bigger, until it ends up that the planet's destroyed. Any way you look at it, it's like, oh crap, what's going to happen? That's, at least to me, it seems, oh god. This technology, you look at it with artificial intelligence, artificial reality, and then there's all these bad things that could come about that, and on the flip side, there's a lot of good that can come about it, but it's just whether that good is worth the bad. If that good is worth the bad, if let's say it's 80% good, 75-80% good to 20 or 25% bad, then that's fair enough. But if it's if it's like 75% bad to 25% good, well, that's not good, is it? So anyway, let me go up, I'll quickly check, and then I'm gonna go because we're over the hour, so I apologise. I definitely think my views will go up if he pukes on my channel. Oh no, he's had that he's had that thing. What's he got? Food poisoning or something? How are you going to go on Louise's channel with food poisoning, man, Andrew? Well, I say food poisoning. I don't know whether it is. Sorry, I'm making up an illness for you here. I think you've got food poisoning, but I don't know whether you have. I'm feeling sick at the thought of a greasy fry up myself. I suppose a lot of people can be sick at that thought, I suppose. Lex is in. Hi there, Lex. I tell you what, we've had a lot of people in today, haven't we? 37 or 38 it was at the peak. Ads, do you have any reselling videos coming up for the purists? I don't know what you mean by purists. Is that people who watch my videos, like watch all my videos? I don't know. But no, I've got Saturday. I've got is it a charity shop video? I think I've got a charity shop hunting style video coming out. I'm going to be doing more of those in the future actually, because people like to see them. And I know I moan sometimes about, oh, well, the vlogs take longer to do and longer to edit and stuff. But I am actually starting to enjoy editing the vlogs now. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I've got the motivation to do it. So I'm going to do more of those videos. So, yeah, I've got a charity shop hunting video on Saturday. Then I've got a reselling podcast that I mentioned at the start of this video on Monday, sorry. And then I've got another video, I think it's a vlog of some kind, coming out next week on maybe Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. And then after that, I've probably got a sales update or something like that. I've recorded it, but I don't know when it's coming out or anything. So, yeah, maybe a few days after that. I'm not as so far ahead as my videos now, because I put all my videos out one a day for about 8 days to get through them, because I had so much of a backlog to get through just to upload. So yeah, I've got through all them now, so basically I'm only about a week ahead of myself, which I like, because I think it gives a bit more of a personal connection with my audience. When you're doing videos in April, and they're not getting uploaded till June, then people watching them, I think it makes them feel like, oh, well, that was ages ago now, kind of thing. When we watch, because obviously on the videos I'm saying, oh, well, look, it's the 10th of April now or whatever, and actually it's June, and people can see that, and I think it's just like, well, people just get a bit turned off by it, the fact that it was so long ago. So, yeah, I'm a bit more ahead of myself now, so the videos, I'm not going to say they're coming live directly as I make them, but it's not far, it's within a week or so, so you're getting quite fresh content from me these days, opposed to maybe over the last few months, which is good, which I do really like. Oh, well, I'm 38 now. Wouldn't it be good if we could end on 40 viewers? That'd be cool, but I don't know, we might not make it. But I've not been at 40 for, I don't think I've been at 40 for 10 weeks or something, quite a long time. I normally peak out at 30. I don't know why that is. It's very, very odd recently. But yeah, I think my highest I ever had was close to 100. But that wasn't on Thursday Talks. That was on a live haul video I did. I think it might have even hit 100. But no, it's probably 90 or something, I think it was. I might try and whisk a bowl of cereal. Well, I had food poisoning last year, as some of you will be aware, from tuna. So I had food poisoning from tuna, and I didn't really know what to do. I don't know whether you've got food poisoning. Sorry, I still don't know whether you got food poisoning. But anyway, I didn't know what to do with food poisoning because I'd never really had it before, not to a great extent anyway. So, I was asking my mum and dad, what do I do? I'm feeling like terrible, and I was being sick everywhere. It was horrible, Well, not everywhere, but I was being sick in the toilet and stuff. And, yeah, it just really wasn't good. And, they said, well, just don't eat all the rest of it. And then I wanted to eat because, obviously, the problem was I was battling with my anxiety. At the same time, I was battling with the food poisoning. So I felt like I was getting anxious because I hadn't eaten anything. And then that was making me feel my heart rate more and make me more anxious. And I was getting anxious, and then I was just feeling terrible with the food poisoning as well. So I was getting a double whammy. So I thought, well, I have to eat something. I ate some toast, I think I ate some toast or something, and then I was sick again. So I would just say leave it. Just have warm water, maybe, I think at the latter part of the day, I managed to stomach a little bit of rice, but just white rice and only a bit of it, and that's it. Just don't do it, because it'll be bad. So just either have nothing or just have a little bit of rice or whatever. Your body should be able to cope without a day without food, and it'll do it good. And then the next day, you can start to eat a little bit more, and then the day after that, you eat a bit more, and then you can slowly start to get a good amount of food in your body again. And then after about 3 or 4 days, you can just, you might want to have a good amount of food on that day to really bulk you up again. But I don't know what I don't even really have the life experience to talk about, to know what I'm talking about here. But I'm just rambling off what the one time I had it was like, and what I did really. But yes, I'm forming my own cult. What's this all about? The body can survive without food for 3. I don't know about your body. Yeah, your body might be able to survive without food for 3 weeks. Mine bloody wouldn't. I'd be bloody on the floor. God, my metabolism is so. I literally get starving. Like I get so hungry after about 6 hours, like 4 to 6 hours without food. I'm starving. Like I'm really, really bad. Yeah, so I don't know, 3 weeks without food. My God, I'd literally just pass out. I'd be gone. There's no way 3 weeks. I don't know. You don't know what your body's capable of, do you? I mean, I always used to think that your body would just die after a few days, of not having a certain thing. But yeah, because I've never had a very healthy relationship with my body. But anyway, I'm gonna go in a sec. I'm literally just gonna look up the chat very quickly, see if there's another question or anything just before I go. We did hit 40. So I was really, really happy with that. If you haven't already, please hit the like. We've got 39 watching and only 9 likes. So just before we end, hit that like if you haven't already. Get us up to maybe 20 if you can, or maybe 15, 16. But yeah, Louise says, I definitely get hungry. Yeah, I mean, was that hangry? Hangry, yeah, hangry. That's saying it in a certain way, in an accent. But no, so oh my God, it's terrible. Just constant food. It's constant, put it in your mouth, no, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? But take it out of context, it does. But just constant, get that food in, because, God, I tell you. Yeah, anyway, I will go now. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Don't forget, Reselling Rebels, the podcast, the new Listen While You List audio experience on my channel on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. So once you've done your packaging, once you've got your parcels out on Monday, in the afternoon, get listening to that, get your listings done, get some new items on, get some fresh stock on, and yeah, hope you enjoy that, and I will see you in the next one. So I will see you